Welcome to the Getting Started recording for audio engineering. And this recording is both for semester-long course or a block course because it covers what a student needs to do in week one. So your week one date might be different, but this is what you'll need to do in week one. In week one, you're going to watch the recording, which you're doing now. Then you're going to go to the course home unit. So that's this unit on the left here. Look at some of the getting started information, review the course syllabus. Then you're going to go into the course overview. And the course overview is right here. And the course overview will have you start the course, set up your computer, do all kinds of things. So that's the way that this recording is going to work out for you. Now, before we jump into the course overview and doing all of that, let me just remind you about the course and a little bit about me and such. So, of course, Mr. Harrison, and this email address, I think that email gets to me, but my real email address is rharrison@k12.com. This is automatically put in. I cannot edit this. This is automatically put in when the course is delivered to me. I can't change it, but rharrison@k12.com. I live in Grand Junction. I have flexible office hours. Just email or call me. We can set up a meeting time. Best phone number is this one with the extension 2010 on it. So audio engineering class. You can see here some information about me, what I've done as a professional, as a teacher, so you can know a little bit about me. Some of the grading for this audio engineering class. Grade is a 500-point system. You can determine your grade percentage at any time by taking all the total points you've earned and divide by total points possible. So for instance, let's say halfway through we've had 300 points possible and you've earned 200. 200 divided by 300 is 67%, so that would be 67%. Now the other thing about that, anytime you get above 300, you're automatically going to pass the class, because 300 divided by 500 will be 60%, and 60% should be passing. But hopefully you're going to shoot for something higher than that. Generally, I give no extra credit. I feel a student, you get the grades you deserve by doing the required work. However, sometimes if you do outstanding work, I might give you extra points. Just my own judgment. Always go to the grade book to see what your current points are, to figure out your grade point average or your percentage for the class. Don't send me an email saying what is my grade. Always go to the grade book. I update things in there frequently when you turn work in, so that's the best place to go see what your grade is. Submitting work. Of course, if you are in Julesburg, then you're not a part of my regular block classes. You're in a semester class, so the timing is much different. So I do not every day go into these Julesburg classes. I mean, I try to, but not as often as I do my regular block classes with 30 or 40 or 50 kids in them, because I only have 1 or 2 of you in them. So the best thing to do is whenever you submit work, send me a K-mail telling me that you sent something in. Then I'll go in and grade it for you as soon as I get that mail, or as soon as I can. So that might be the best way to keep me on my toes, but I'll try to get in and grade stuff as much as possible. Weekly lesson announcements. Each week in the announcements I list the work. I showed you that a minute ago. You'll always see the work listed that way. Lastly, there are quizzes for each unit, and I've given quiz previews for each of those. And what I suggest is you look at the quiz preview, find the answers, then go do the quiz. I will not let you redo the quizzes, because I give you the previews, and if you get the previews right, then you'll do well on the quiz. So let's go. I'm just going to look quickly at section 1 right here, and you see that here is quiz preview 1. So what you'll do, you'll go find all of those answers. Once you have all those answers down, then you go do the quiz. And again, I do not let you redo the quizzes, so don't ask. I gave you the preview instead. All right, we'll get to the course overview in a little bit. The course schedule, you can go to the doc sharing area for the course schedule, but I also have the course schedule open down here. So we'll take a quick look. Here's the course schedule, so you can see that week 1 you're just going to do this basic stuff getting started. Weeks 2 and 3, because we have 5 sections in this course, I've set up each section to cover 2 weeks. So what I've done here for weeks 2 and 3, it's going to be section 1. And I've broken these up a little bit. So this might be 1 day of work. This might be a second day of work. This might be a third day of work. The quiz might be a fourth day of work. Assignment 1 might be a fifth day of work. And then assignment 1B might be sixth or seventh day of work. So this breaks it down for you into getting your work done. So I've done that for each of the weeks. I put the space in between to kind of give you a place that I think might be a natural break for you, might make your work easier. And when you do the work, the assignments you turn in, you'll turn in the study questions assignment, you'll turn in the A assignment, and you'll turn in the B assignment. We'll talk about those a little bit, but each week is set up similarly. Or each section. So look at section 2, which is weeks 4 and 5. Section 2, again, this might be 1 day, this might be 2 days, this might be the 3rd day, 4th day, 5th day, and 6th and 7th day. So you can see how it's broken down. Now, if you go through this with the calendar that I have here, you'll see that you'll actually finish this before Thanksgiving. So, again, those of you in a semester course, you'll finish much earlier than the 16 weeks of the course. There's not much I can do about that. I can't really extend this. So, I mean, that's just the way the class is. Now, if you're in a block class, then you'll end up, obviously the weeks will be different, but in block class, it'll work out pretty well too. I'll probably shorten that up a little bit. So that's the course schedule. And again, you can always find the course schedule by going to the doc sharing area or click that link for the course schedule. Contact information, there's my real email address. Office hours, as I said before, I'm really flexible. Send me a K-mail or a phone call, and we can set up a time to meet. Grading information, 500-point grading. Talked about all this already. The course outline. This is something that K-12 has within these courses. You can print this out if you want, and you can put your scores down or the dates that you complete the work, whatever you want to do. And these are suggested hours that it would take you to do that work. So section 1 might take you 16 hours. Section 2 work might take you 16 hours. Section 3 work, 15 hours, etc. So you're welcome to print this out and use it. It's just kind of a guide, but it's better to just go by the course schedule that I've set up for you. Some of the other information, there's the glossary about audio engineering, so it might be good to at least know where to get to that. I wouldn't suggest you print it out. Course help. This is general course help. If you have any issues with K-12 courses, you can always go in here and it'll open up a document for you, and you can learn who to contact in certain situations. Then the last couple of things, academic integrity. Make sure that you're a good student, that you do the right things. Course feedback, if you have any questions on the course, any issues, then you just go to course feedback right there. Netiquette, how to be proper online, how to send proper emails, communications, things like that. Understanding copyright, again, how to do things correctly, lawfully. And I don't think there's going to be any copyright information in this audio engineering class. I don't think you're going to do much with copyright. Well, except you have to think about songs that we're going to use, right? Then finally, quiz study guide. They have this set up to help you with the quizzes. I didn't find these very, very helpful. You're welcome to look at them before as you do the quiz previews, but it just kind of talks about different things that are covered in each of the different sections of the class. So those are all the basics things that you need to know. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the course overview, which is what you're going to do to get everything done for week 1. And you'll see we're going to learn about switching between windows, finding files and folders, setting up your web browser, zipping files, things like that. So we'll work right through this. I don't see the arrows showing up on the screen for us to move forward with this. Let me refresh that screen. There we go. Okay, course overview. So just hit the right arrow. Now this course overview, this is what I call the lesson presentations. And these are what you will work through. They'll be very similar to this when you get into the projects. Like when you get into assignment 1, you'll work through presentations very similar to this. In fact, I'll go ahead and click on assignment 1 to show you what these might, actually not the assignment, I'm sorry, the section 1 activities. The section 1 activities gives you the presentation, and this tells you how to work through the work. So section 1, then you go down to section 2, same thing. You click right here, you work through the work, doing it as they say, then you'll do the 2 assignments later on. Let's go back to our course overview. As we get at this, it's going to introduce us into how to navigate through Windows, through the lesson windows, I mean. Computer requirements. If you have a fairly modern computer, you should be fine and have all that information available to you, or all those components are part of your computer, shouldn't have any problem. Moving between pages. So here we are on a presentation screen, just like you'll have in section 1, section 2, etc. You can always click the table of content, and then you can find where you need to go. Now this will be helpful if you're doing like some of the work on Monday, some on Tuesday. You don't have to go back to the beginning of the lessons. You can go to wherever you need to pick up from where you left off the day before. Here's some practice. Can you answer the question there, get it right based on what they just said? So as you move on to this a little bit further, you can see that it's talking more about starting the course, and as you go through the course, you'll see that the lessons that they have, you'll be able to click on the left over here, and then it'll show you right here an example of what you would be doing, like a screenshot. That's one way to do it. Now, another way to do it would be the demonstrations. So right here, we could always watch little snippet demonstrations that'll show how to do certain things, and you'll see those later on. So you click over here, and then you'll be able to see in your screen what you're supposed to be doing. Hardware and software, of course, you know the hardware are the things that you can touch on a computer. So it could be the desktop box, the monitor, the keyboard, mouse, etc. As we talk about software, software are the programs within the computer that you either use, like the applications like Microsoft Office or Audacity, which you're going to be using for this class, or it could be the operating system. It's often considered software. Now the operating system, of course, the different ones, like I have Windows 7, you might be using Windows 8, Windows XP, Mac. That's your operating system. Now that's important to know because some of the activities you do in here are set up like this. This course and these presentations are all set up for Windows XP. Now if you don't have Windows XP, you need to go here, and here's a document that can help you do a bunch of things you need to do to your computer. So if you have Vista, click here, Windows 7, click here, Mac, click here. So since I have Windows 7, what I would do is I would go down here and I would work through these. These are just basic things telling me what to do and things like that. But some of the things that I need to do with Windows 7, I need to go through and change my folder view. I need to go show my file extensions, and that's how I do it in Windows 7. I need to make folders, and here's how I would do it in Windows 7. So that helps me understand how to do things in Windows 7, and there's the Mac directions, different things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, oops, there we are, back in auto engineering. So you would go there if you don't have XP. If you do have XP, then all you need to do is just follow these next directions. So most of you know how to figure some of this stuff out. So the taskbar, so in Windows, of course, you have taskbar at the bottom, and this is just talking about some basics of navigating. You know how to navigate stuff before you can get to where you want to go, right? All right, multiple keys. Oftentimes you might have used multiple keys. That means like combination keys. So control is used often. Like control S would save automatically for you. Control Z would move between two different windows. Control A would highlight everything on a page. So that's just talking about combination keys or multiple keys. Switching between windows. The Alt and Tab lets you switch between windows. So this kind of shows you, so you hold down the Alt key, then you hit the Tab key and you go between different windows. So here's what we learned in lesson 1 in this summary. Okay, now into lesson 2, so now we're going to look at setting up our computer, files and folders, listing folder views, different things like that, file name extensions. Now folders are really important, and what you're going to need to do, this is going to work you through setting up a folder for this course so that you can be much more organized, know where to find information, so you can easily zip your folders to send things to me to submit your assignments. So as you look through this, the folder view is really important. The folder view allows you to view folders in a different way to make it easier to find what you need to have. And we want to use the list view in this course to view folders. So again, this document right here shows us how to use do Windows XP and create the list view of folders. Now, as I said before, remember back in lesson 1, there was that document I showed you that showed how to use Windows 7, Mac, and different things like that to do this the list view. But you want to create your computer so when you go to look at any folders that they show up in the list view. So you're going to work through those steps. And again, this is just showing how to do it in Windows XP. Now, name extensions. I think all of you know what name extensions are. Like if you have a .doc is a Word document, a .pdf is an Adobe Acrobat document, .jpg is an image document, etc. But we also want to be able to look at file name extensions when we look at files and folders. So these next steps are going to show you how to, there's a little quiz you can do. This next step shows you how to set up to where file name extensions show up when you go look at folders and files. So again, in Windows XP, you would do it this way. Go to Tools, Folder Options, and you go through those steps. If you don't have Windows XP, go back into the lesson 1 that we did a minute ago. And lesson 1, so you can go to your table of content, and you can go to lesson 1, and then use the different operating systems to see how to do this in Windows 7, Mac, etc. So you end up going into advanced settings and set up so you do not want hidden extensions. You want to see the extensions whenever you're looking at folders and files. Finding folders and files, of course, to get into a folder, you double click on it and then you'll be into that folder, right? So this is just talking about where all your stuff is going to be located, to be able to navigate, to find things easily, to find your work easily. So the main hard drive for most computers is going to be the C drive. If it's something else, you need to work through it that way. And if you're on a school computer, you might be on the network and you might have a folder on the L drive. But what you need to do, you need to follow these directions. We're going to go in and create a course folder for this course. And you need to do this stuff exactly, please. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to go to the C drive, local disk drive C, so you'll click on that. Then once you're in the C drive, then you go up to File, New Folder. Or you could right-click on the C drive and then click Folder, somehow to put a new folder on the C drive. So what this is going to have you do, this is going to have you create on the C drive a folder called Audio, then with your initials. And as it says right here, if your name was Kelly Marshall, then your folder would be Audio KM. Mine, on my C drive, I would create a folder called Audio RH. So you can see right here that you have, that says course folder, but that's where it would be like Audio RH. You can easily rename it if you want to. So on your C drive, you're going to have a folder with the word audio and then your initials. That's going to be the name of the folder for this class. So here's what we did. We created a course folder, learned about setting file extension names so we could view them, viewing folders, etc. Now we're going to look at setting up your web browser, zipping, unzipping, and those types of things. Now, setting up your web browser, of course, your web browser, like right now I'm in Chrome. Sometimes I use Internet Explorer. Some of you might use Firefox. But you need to set up your browsers a certain way so you can do the right things. So right here, we're going to change some web browser settings. So if you use Firefox, you do it here. If you use Internet Explorer, you can do it here. Now, if you're not using Firefox or Internet Explorer, if you're using Chrome or something, then you need to look at these directions and be able to figure out how to do it in Chrome. So what they want you to do here is you're going to change some directions a little bit. So you're going to go to File, New Window, and in the new window you can go to Tools, Internet Options. You're going to work through the Security tab, reset all zones to default level. Click the Privacy tab, click Default, because we want to make sure that you can view and access all the pages you need to view and access. So you just work through these steps, and in Chrome it would probably be fairly similar. So work through all of those steps. Now, file compression. As you might know, file compression is where it takes a big file and it makes it smaller so it can be sent over the internet, sent through email much more easily. And it's really important in this class because you're going to be creating fairly large audio files and they need to be able to be compressed, and that's called zipping. Zipping is compressing files, squeezing files. Now, this suggests that you download a file compression utility called 7-Zip. But most new computers, like my Windows 7, it automatically has a zip program, and I'll show that in a minute. Now, zipped file, these are files that have been compressed, and they're named at the end by .zip. Plus, you can see them on your computer that they have a zipper on them, so you know it's a zipped file, zipped folder, I should say, not file. And you zip folders. You do not zip files, you zip folders. Then once it's zipped, then it needs to be unzipped, so you can pull everything out of it. Just like a purse or something. You zip your purse to close it, you unzip it, you can take things out of it. There's a little practice question, see if you can answer that correctly. Now this is going to talk about downloading files, so whichever browser you're using, I'm just going to click on the Internet Explorer one and download 7-Zip. So this is going to have you go through and download the 7-Zip program. But don't do that. I'm going to show you a demo. If yours works like mine, then don't worry about 7-Zip. So I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to go into my Insight 1314, scroll down a little bit, and here I have some zip folders. So this is audio engineering, so maybe I have stuff in here and I want to zip this. So let's pretend that I have a bunch of files I want to send. So I'm going to right click, and my computer automatically says sends to compress zip folder. So watch what happens when I do this. If I scroll up, look at that, it zipped all that stuff. It made a zipped folder for me. So all I need to do now is I could send an email to somebody and I would attach this zipped folder. This is important because when you do your work, you'll have your work in your audio folder and you'll zip that audio folder to me, just like this. Now, if you ever wanted to unzip a zipped folder, I right click on this. Actually, see, when you send the work to me, I'll unzip it. So I right click on it, extract all, and I'm not going to do that, but then that would put that all in a folder called audio engineering, etc. So that's zipping, and I'm just going to hit delete on that. I don't need that file. Again, I'm on Windows 7. It has a zipping utility already, so I just right click on the folder I want to zip, send to, compress zip folder. Then once it gets saved as a zip folder, then I can send it via email. So don't worry about downloading 7-Zip if you have a zipping utility already. Install 7-Zip, so you'd work through that. So just follow these directions and it's going to tell you how to install 7-Zip. So how to zip files? Well, I just showed you one way, didn't I? Now this is showing you how to zip. It's like there's assignment 1 that you might zip. And what this is going to have you do is you would right click on assignment 1, then you hit 7-Zip, add to archive. So that's how you would do it if you were doing 7-zip. But as I showed you before, you could just right click on it, send to, then zipped folder. That's what I would recommend you do. Unzipping, I showed you that already. You just right click on it and then you can unzip, extract. So in this lesson we learned about these types of things, and most of this, if you already have a zipping utility, then don't worry about using 7-zip. Now, finding and completing coursework. We're going to work through some processes here that explains more about the work you're going to be doing. So let's go into Internet Explorer. So first you're going to want to download the course resources. So you come here, you'll click here, and it's going to download. So you can see it has resources, is a zip folder down here downloaded for me. And then what it wants you to do is go all the way to that course folder that you created. Remember that folder you created that said like audio RH or whatever it is? You're going to put these resources in that course folder. Now for me, it downloaded all these as a zip folder. And what I would need to do is I would drag that zip folder into my audio RH folder that I created on my C drive. So no matter how you do it, so if I go right here, here's my zip folder, then I would just copy that and I'd go put that in, and I don't have the folder created, the one of my initials and stuff. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that just to work through that process. So that's going to be audio RH, so you're going to have one similar to that. So I would just go right there, I would hit paste, and remember what I did? I took that zip, so there's that resources zip. And then I would just go right in here, and I would extract to all. So you're going to have something very similar to this. And the reason you need to extract all of these and have them is because these are sound files that you will use for much of the work in this class. So I'll just show you the result of this. So I don't need this zip 5 anymore, so I'm going to delete. Whoops. I'm going to delete that because I extracted from that. So look what I have here. I'm in my audio RH folder and I have my resources in here. If I double click, there's some resource files for section 1 work, resource files for section 2 work, resource files for section 3 work. So you need to have all these things to work with. And then right here, you can download Audacity there. So it's really important that you get this process completed to download the course resources. And of course, I clicked in the Internet Explorer directions. If you're using Firefox, do it that way. But no matter how you do it, you need to get those course resources into that course folder that you set up, like audio RH, whatever your name is. Then you unzip the course resources. I showed you how to do that. Just right click and extract them once you have them in your folder. Then you're going to do install Audacity. And again, Audacity, if you go into your course folder, there was the Audacity command right there, the exe file, and you would do that. You could also just go to audacity.com and you can download Audacity. That's the sound program you'll be using. So you install Audacity. Now it talks about the course, and the course is broken into different sections. I talked about these. We looked at section 1, section 2 already, and the different types of assignments. And again, the assignments you'll turn in for this class. You'll turn in the study questions, you'll turn in assignment 1A, and you'll turn in assignment 1B, and you'll complete the quiz. So there are 4 things you do in each section of the course. Quizzes, of course, you have the quiz previews. I told you about that. In the assignments, so at the end of each unit there are different assignments. So there's assignment A assignments and B assignments. And there are differences from those, and I'll talk about those in a minute. So finding items in the course, that just shows you how to navigate the course a little bit. Completing the study questions, so what this tells you on the study questions, so you go to the study questions and you copy and paste all the study questions into a word processing document. Once you copy and paste them into a word processing document, then you'll go find the answers and you'll answer the study questions. And like this one, here's how you'll save it. So the study questions for section 1, you'll answer all those in the word processor. After you answer them, or while you're answering them, you'll save them, like I would save it as study 1 R Harrison. That would be the file name. That way I would know exactly what that file is if I ever had to access it again. So I'd save all that work, then I would submit that work into the Dropbox for study question 1. So that's how you do the study questions. So you copy and paste the questions. So I'd go right here. Here are all the questions. I'd start right here, highlight all of these, paste into a Word document, and then I would find the answers, and then I would submit that Word document into the Dropbox. So then if I go to the Dropbox, here's study questions 1, that's where I would submit that. Now again, one of the keys to this is when you copy and paste this into word processor, remember that you're going to save it with a name similar to this. And you're going to save it into your course folder. So you'll know where all this stuff is at any time. So that was how to turn in the study questions. Let's go back a little bit here. Okay, complete study questions, we did that. Assignments, there are 2 types of assignments. The A assignments are research. So if we look at the A assignment, and you're going to do these similar to the way you would do the study questions. So you'll highlight all this. So the A assignments are more like your opinion or research, different things like that. That's the A assignments. Now if we look at the directions here, the B assignments are requiring you to use Audacity and will result in an Audacity file that you'll submit. So if you go to the B assignment, and these are fairly easy to do. What they're going to have you do, the way you'll do the B assignments, they're going to be a follow-up to what you do as you go through like section 1. So as you go through section 1, this is going to have you create an Audacity file and practice with Audacity. So through section 1 you practice and you do this work, saving the files with the names they tell you and such like that. Then after you've done all this work, like you can see, you're going to work through all these steps, creating waveforms, doing pitches and frequency. You're doing all of this work, saving the files with the correct names, the exact names. So you're doing all that stuff. It'll tell you exactly the file names to save them as. So you do all that work. Then we go into assignment 1B. This has you check your work that you did over here in section 1. So check your work, make sure you've done all that right. So the phase tone project, make sure you have 2 sounds. Octaves project, make sure you did that. So you're just checking your work that you did from section 1. And then you're doing an add-on. So you're going to do some add-on to section 1. Then you're going to submit your whole audio folder. And that'll have all your files in it. So the way to check all your work, right here, when the folder you send in for this one, so the assignment 1 folder is what you're going to zip, you should have these things in that assignment 1 folder. If you don't have those things in it, then you haven't done all the work. So you can always check your work that way. So you're going to zip the assignment 1 folder, and you're going to turn that in. That'll have everything in this unit. So that's how you get through this work. So again, You go to the section and you work through all the processes on this, working with Audacity, doing those types of things. Then, when you get to assignment 1B, you will review, make sure you did all the stuff right in section 1, and you'll do some add-on work with enhancing the files, doing some different things. So the section work and the B work go together. The assignment 1A is completely different. That's research work. So that's how this course operates. So we've gone through everything in this course, showed you how to navigate all of it, how to get to the different sections, how to download software, how to complete assignments, talked about the difference between the A assignments and the B assignments. And here's just a little bit more information about copyright and analyzing information, Wikipedia as a resource. And a lot of teachers don't like people using Wikipedia, but I think Wikipedia is fine because it kind of polices itself. But if you can find other, you won't be doing lots of research in this class, but if you can find other resources for research, that would be good too. So that's all about this class. So what you need to do now, so you've done this work, I'll try to get back to the course home. So you've done all of this work. It's really finished for the week. You're welcome to jump into section 1, but section 1 doesn't start until next week. So that's all I have for you. Thanks for hanging in there, and I'll talk to you all later. I look forward to your work coming in. Bye.